Hey everyone, welcome to today's recap of America's Next Top Model. So last time it was the casting episode and Tyra made it known that the competition is elevated this season. So the girls arrive at Venice Beach and they are bombarded by Harry Perry, who I would describe as the naked cowboy of Venice Beach. So as Naked Cowboy is to Times Square, Harry Perry is to Venice Beach. He even had a little guitar he was playing, and he was on rollerblades, so they were all like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then he was like, hey, this is your house. So the house is gorge as usual. They have like this kitty litter box upstairs, aka a room with sand in it. I'm not really a fan of sand in the house. I think it's gonna get tracked around and it's gonna be dirty. But anyway, there were a lot of floor to ceiling windows, very cool. So yeah, it's a nice house as always. They do a really good job with that every season. So Anne and Chris were discussing Anne's ideal man, and basically she wants someone who can cook and who is under 60 years of age. And you can do way better than that. You need to set your standards higher, or at least lower your maximum age, because that's kind of weird. But anyway, a huge focal point of this episode, Kayla is a lesbian, and she wants to be the first one to win America's Next Top Model. So pay attention, because that's going to play a big part in this week's episode. Okay, so the first Tyra Mail of the week, your rise to the top begins in Hollywood. Alright, so the girls go to Hollywood and Highland Center, where I believe Mr. J said they hold the Oscars. Ooh. So they were there for a Diane von Furstenberg runway show. But, of course, because this season is elevated, there was a twist. The runway was actually 4 stories high in the air. And the girls had 1 hour to do their own hair and makeup. Okay, so just a couple of little highlights of the runway show. Anna Maria fell getting off of the runway, but at least she didn't fall off of the runway. And Casey was freaking out because she is a glasses wearer, and I don't understand why she doesn't just get contacts, because you're not going to be able to wear glasses on the runway unless it's for like a glasses line. And probably not in photo shoots either. Definitely not in photo shoots. So just get contacts. It's really not that hard. Even I can do it. And I suck. But she was like freaking out because she thought she was going to fall off the runway. Everything was blurry. But she totally rocked it. So good for her. And, okay, no one fell off, so thank God. But they were wearing harnesses anyway, so it really just would have been embarrassing. But yeah. The next Tyra Mail, ever been bullied? What's the one word that hurt you the most? So it's a swimsuit photo shoot, and the photographer is Deborah Anderson. So for this shoot, everyone had to pick out this like word that bothers them when people call them that, and then it was written all over their body. And they also had to come up with a power word that's like the opposite of that, but it wasn't really the opposite. It was just like a nicer way of saying something. So Mr. J, his word was band geek. I don't remember what his power word was. Something about creative genius, maybe. And Tyra, big forehead. But her power word was supermodel turned businesswoman. And then on the back it said, with a big forehead. So I thought that was pretty clever. Good job, Tyra. Okay. And during the photo shoot, Demi Lovato showed up because she is working with teensagainstbullying.com. I think that's the website. And she said a lot of people called her promiscuous when she was like 12. What the hell were you doing that 12-year-olds called you promiscuous? Because, like, I think a lot of people when I was 12 probably didn't even know what that meant. But yeah. Good for you, Demi, for getting over that. But the judges panel, we're just going to talk about everyone's words and stuff during judges panel. So the judges this week were Nigel Barker, Andre Leon Talley, and guest judge Diane von Furstenberg. So Lexi was up first, and her word was elf ears, and her power word was unique. Okay. So her photo was pretty good, but the way she was like holding her stomach, it looked like she was like in pain. So, and not pretty pain either, as Tyra would say, but it looked like she had a stomach ache, in my opinion. Okay, moving on. Casey, her word was Oreo, and her power word was Nubian Queen. Can we see your face? I don't know if they mentioned this or not, but she was like, so you could barely see her face in the shot. I don't know, that kind of bothers me when I can't see a model's face, but the judges didn't seem to mind. Jane's word, okay, Jane's words were weird. I didn't really get this. She didn't like when people called her big face, but her power word was big square head. I mean, I think both of those words are kind of like, I wouldn't want to be called that. But given the choice, I think I would rather be called big face than big square head. That's really weird. But okay. And I thought she looked really pretty in her shot, but it was a little bit boring. Um, Kayla, her word was queer, but her power word was free, and she had one of the best shots in the group. Like, it was amazing. And of course, Diane von Furstenberg gave like this empowering speech, and she's like, "You're free. It's like you're about to take off into flight like a bird." So that was cool. Um, Liz, her word was mutt, and her power word was biracial beauty. Her shot got mixed reviews. I thought it was really strong, but the judges were kind of like, eh. Esther, her word was weirdo, and her power word was independent. Honestly, I don't know why I wrote face question mark. Something must have been up with the face that she was making. I don't remember. I watched it last night. But anyway, Kendall, her word was lanky, and her power word was fierce, and she looked like a gazelle in her shot, and Andre freaking loves that. So good for her. Sarah, her word was manly, and her power word was athletic. She was like holding her gut in this really, like, she doesn't have a gut, obviously, but the way that she was holding her stomach, it looked like she had a gut, and she was like squeezing. I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really like it. But anyway, Tara, soup cooler. I've never heard that before, but okay. That's an interesting one. And her power word was luscious lips. Why were you taking your top off in the shot? That was weird. It was uncalled for. She needs to work on her posing a little bit. Chris, her sister, her word was bony. Her power word was slim. She had half of her face. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing everyone, but I mean, like, I feel like there's things that the judges didn't really point out. But her face was half in shadow, and it was kind of like distracting, but the judges didn't say anything about that. Chelsea, her word was Casper, and her power word was fearless. This was such a fierce shot. She looked like she was about to kill someone. Like she was a ghost and she was going to town. It was crazy. Rihanna, her word was stupid, and her power word was undefinable. This photo was definitely undefinable. I don't know what to think about it because it wasn't here or there. Like, I don't know. It wasn't good or bad. I can't decide what I thought about it. Anna Maria, her word was bucktooth, and her power word was sexy mouth. Does anyone else think that this girl looks like Lady Gaga? Me too. She actually, this was another big part of the episode. Everyone was debating whether or not she was too skinny to be a model because it sends out a bad message and it's just not healthy. So Tyra was actually like, this, I had to choose this shot because everything else was like, you looked like a skeleton, basically. And she was like, I was feeling uncomfortable looking at your film and it was just not a good situation. So, yeah. Anne, her word was giant and her power word was Amazon. Oh my gosh, this was like such an amazing shot. Her face looked incredible. Her body looked great. It was just wow. So let's talk about the top and bottom photos. I'm not going to read out the order of the season because that's just tedious. So the top photo was Anne, and the bottom two was Anna Maria and Tara. So Anna Maria, like I said, people were like, you don't look healthy, that's not cool. And Tara, she had strong poses, but they were predictable. So Anna Maria's out because it's not acceptable to be that unhealthy looking, even if you are healthy. So, my DVR cut off before I could see the scenes for next week. Oh wait, no, I watched this online. Well, online it cut off before I could see the scenes for next week, so we're in the same boat. We'll see what happens. And until then, much love.